have a 1985 CJ Jeep. That'd be an AMC. That's where they still had the beautiful round lights before American Motors purchased them. So we're gonna fix one of the common problems where your fuel gauge goes out. We already dropped the tank, put a new sender in there, and right now we know there's a half tank because we checked at the wire here for the ohms. The ohms were at 25, so we knew we were just around a half tank, which tells us our wiring's correct. We have ground back there, so it gets all the way up here. But this gauge isn't working. So our guy went out and purchased a whole new cluster. Thing is, we went through a few gauges because apparently the companies that make these parts are from China. And well, they don't have the ground sometimes. Sometimes they don't have the resistor to bring this down to around 5 volts. I just saw another video where a guy thought this was a ground wire, which I thought was funny. That's what it does. It brings this down to, on the fuel gauge side, down to 5 volts over to here, to your temperature sensor. More than that, you'll fry your temp sensor. So, the other things are, your ground is the case. And you'll need a really good ground. So you might see some paint back there. A lot of times you'll see a couple wires. On most of them, the 2 ground wires go right here. But the body also is a ground, so you can scratch away. Just make sure you have one really good ground. Let me show you over here. I'll get on the other side. Yes, back in '85, they still used Torx. This Torx is a 27, and you'll need to get your lighter out of the way, your ashtray out of the way, and the lighter and ashtray both use the 27 Torx. Next, you'll want to push these out because your hand's going to go up there. They just push out real nice and easy. You get a little wiggle and boop. That's about as far as you need to go, because you'll have one nut here, 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 and here. You at least need to have these 3, because this one I've already undone, and it's a 3/8, and this is what they look like. If you can see that. You remove that, and I'll show you the 2 ground. That's one. Come on, baby. Get off there. And 2 is 2 ground. But like I said, don't make them your only options. If you scratch away or can clean that up to where it's bare metal against, that really helps. So let me get the last. What did I do with it? One moment. That's all I needed for the bottom 2. But that upper one's kind of tricky, really. you can blame that on Chuck. I would have used a, yeah. Leave your comments down below at Chuck buying these. Let me get this upper one. Need a little extension and 2 hours later. Fits like it got loose, I can spin it with my fingers and it's not going to cooperate. That's the wire getting in the way. Oh yeah, make sure you undo the battery of the vehicle first. That was the first thing we did. We didn't show you because we figured you would have already done it. Right now, a mini air ratchet would be nice. You know, a little quarter. Or an electric. Just speeds it up a lot. Almost off. Let me see if I can get that with my fingers. Yeah, there we go. So then you just push and drop down. You can see this one's missing that drop. We found that these two gauges were bad, so we had to quickly put it in so you can drive it while we ordered. And now the new one, you know, has that piece. I did see on another video the guy, he was popping all this, which is fine, but for some reason he bent the bottom to get the gauge in. Well, you don't have to do that. Once you undo this piece, which is your speedo cable, if you're just doing the gauges themselves, the next step, after you took a little screwdriver and popped these and got the shield, or the little chrome ring and the glass out of the way, then you'd come back here and take a flathead, undo these two. This only goes in one way, you can see. And then it'll come out. Once it's out, then you can replace both gauges or one gauge, whatever suits you. Don't bend the goodies inside. Oh, you'll find if I had this off, there's a plastic piece that comes around that guides the little light, so it only shows there and not in the gauge. That it'll slightly lift up. It's kind of tricky, but you can get the fuel gauge out after you undo these. But for this time, we're putting in the whole unit. So let's go get the whole unit. The really cool part is they show you where everything goes. This is how it comes. They show you where the 12 volt goes in the ignition. That little jumper wire I was talking about, that actually drops it down to a 5 volt. And then there's like a little, oh, this happened, no, do this, little, there you go. Now, let me show you something cool. Right here, if I take an ohm gauge, and I'll show you on the wire, if you're wondering, is the sender working? Well, let me show you. Definitely don't need the battery on for this. Matter of fact, I would suggest you turn your off. Make sure there's no power going to it, because we're running ohms. Let me see if you can see that. You see that? Now, find a ground. Here you go. Here's the fuel gauge. It's right up here. It'll be this nice. It's nice. They have a little S there for the sender. So you can do this. Let's find a ground. We need a ground. There we go. Hard to see. Yeah, it's hard to see. Watch. Let me see if I can get a good ground. That's not a good ground. It's not showing you a good ground. I need a good ground for this. That's why I'm going to clean this one up right here. There we go, almost. Let me see if I can, how about this? Hold on. There we go. On one of the ground wires. So he's almost empty. So that tells us the sender works in the tank. And that would be that. It's that simple. That way we know we don't have to drop the tank, put another sender in. It helps also if you know how much is in your tank. In this case, we know how much is in the tank. Okay, so just gonna keep it simple. There's your sender, there's the ignition, and there's the sender. And then all we have to do is transfer.
How do you transfer them?
Oh, one at a time. You want to do all these lights first, they should twist. But they don't want to twist, they just pop right out. Well, that is nice. Most modern cars, you gotta have a twist to it or something. So, you put it just like how it is. Each goes back. Wow, that is tight. What did you make it smaller? Wow. The holes seem to be smaller. So, a little. Trying to get half in. Push the other half down. There we go. There's one. Let's move this stuff out of the way so we don't scuff it. Hey, we need a new light bulb. He's gonna need some new bulbs. Look at that one.
Yep. A little toasty.
I don't think we got any, do we?
No.
Yes, go show the customer.
I need some new light bulbs.
You know, I was thinking of getting some.
Yeah.
Now would have been the time.
Yeah, no kidding.
Let me put that one back in just to hold in place.
I was thinking about that for a long time. How many you need?
I don't know. I'd just get one of those little packages full. Hey, you want this one just so you can...
I was thinking about that.
That one so you can match up to it.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to put this in the hole blank.
I think it's just for a light, huh?
Yeah.
It's not for a warning light.
No, these are warning lights on here
Is
and
this a warning light?
turn signals and goodies like that. That's why I'm putting them exactly where they came out of from the other. Wow, they made this difficult. Which is good because I'm pretty sure the case of the ground, and then that's what it's using as the case as a ground. So the ground part is right here. Come on. There we go. Can you use your hand to hold that?